Welcome Annakuma crew. It is once more your favorite friendly despair bear Annakuma, and I'm back with yet another demo review. This time for Coffee Talk meets murder mystery in Rogueside's conversational detective story Better Served Cold. Now I'm a fan of conversational, and yes, I need to concentrate to say that word, visual novels. If you don't know what they are, then please try out Coffee Talk, which is one of the most popular games in the genre. It tends to see you as a barkeeper or a barista of some bar with a few regular customers that you get to know and help with their daily problems. You get to fall in love with the cast whilst learning more about yourself, with mini-games being as simple as just making cups of coffee that they like by listening to their requests. Best Served Cold does all this but mixes in a detective story. We're a bartender during Prohibition running a speakeasy under a bookstore. The owner Vincent visits us on day one to tell us to keep our nose clean and to also point out to us that we have a mysterious and dark past. We are introduced to the drink minigame and the fact our conversations will cost action points, which isn't a thing in most of these games. I played a handful of days. I didn't get to the end of the demo as I felt I'd seen enough. I'd been introduced to a good number of characters, got to talk to them, make some drinks, and ask them some questions. Our main objective in the game is solving a mystery. We're visited by a police officer who has worked on the case of Natalia Reed, an accountant who was murdered outside a speakeasy. The only reason we're being allowed to stay open is to help with the investigation. It also seems everyone is aware of my dodgy past, though no one will tell me what I did. It is our job to befriend people, get them drunk, and find out what they know. We also have a limit of 2 weeks to figure it all out, which gives the games a 14-day window, which seems a decent amount of time for this kind of game. There is a chance it will be longer than this, but that is what the demo at least tells us, and I feel like 14 days is enough. Each day will bring new people, and some people will come back multiple times. For the purpose of the tutorial, we get to see an old friend of ours named Peter on multiple occasions so that we can learn how the clue-based part of the game will work. But over the 2 or 3 days I played, there were a lot of faces, possibly on par already, or maybe even exceeding the amount you'll see in a full run of Coffee Talk, which actually makes sense, but I can't really go too much into that without spoilers for Coffee Talk, which I'm not going to do in an unrelated demo review. That would be silly of me. As a conversational game, it works really well. Dialogue is perfect for me. It felt very chatty and very natural. There were no weird moments and it flowed really well. I never found any conversation going on too long, maybe with the opening talk with Vincent feeling drawn out a little bit. Most of the time I was interested in what was being talked about, and I feel like it will only get more interesting the more we get into the game. This isn't necessarily about diving into the lives of people to help them in a positive way like in Coffee Talk, but to solve a mystery that we're only going to be able to solve by getting some people absolutely hammered and letting them get that anger off of their chests. With that in mind, it has its own unique twist to the genre too. We have action points that we can increase by giving the customer a drink they like, or lose by giving them badly mixed drinks. These action points come in use when you open up being able to chat freely with your customers, so the opening conversations aren't a worry. It is later when you can ask them questions that you need to ration them out a little. Certain people will like certain drinks and dislike others, so it isn't as easy as just giving everyone the drink that has the most action points attached. Not only that, but everyone has a different tolerance to alcohol, and getting someone too drunk means they'll just leave the bar. Also, on top of that, they will only give certain information when in certain moods. If they are in a bad mood, they might not talk, or someone might need to be pissed and angry to tell you something. They also might not talk until they've befriended you enough, meaning making the right conversation choices to keep their spirits up is important. There is a lot more to manage in this game than there is in most of these, and that isn't even going into the detective mystery side of the game. Now, if you've been around me for any length of time, you know I love a good mystery, and this just works for me. I love the opening cutscene that provided some backstory and was just animated in such a beautiful way. I have so far loved every character I've been introduced to, and I find the gameplay engaging for a static investigation type game. Detective games are starting to branch out themselves, taking some of the best parts of the older games and making them the focus of their game. I said it with the Duck Detective series, taking deductive parts of older games like the Sherlock ones and making it the core of their gameplay. With Best Served Cold, it is obviously the interrogation part of these games. Mix that up with the wonderful conversation genre, and I think we're sitting on a gem here that I hope gets seen by everyone that needs to see it and more. Other than just asking questions though, you will find clues that you have to either ask people about, or at the end of the day put together to come up with new questions to ask. Which means not every question is going to be in the options. You have this handy little area over here where you can serve them a drink, shoo them away from the bar, or go into the clues and ask them outright about a clue you have. Again, at the end of the day, you will go to a corkboard and can hang up the clues and try to tie them together. We do like a corkboard here, they are fantastic. It'll be a game where you need to take note of what everyone tells you. Like I was told one character rants when drunk, so if I saw her on another day, I know to get her drunk before asking her about Natalie. None of this even touches the actual drink minigame, which I really liked. It isn't overly complicated, you'll pick a drink based on what the characters ask for, and so far it hasn't been too difficult to figure out what they want. You'll then be taken to a picture that represents said drink, and you have to move your arrow along the line to add each ingredient. If the red arrow behind you catches up, then you make a bad drink. Pride meant I didn't even go back to lose that minigame. I am not a loser, guys. I win these minigames. And I'm sure a fail is only in there because sometimes to upset people and make them talk, you'll need a bad drink, which I like. I should have probably made a bad drink. I didn't. Have a pirate joy. There is also so much attention to detail in the game. For a start, the art style is just beautiful. It has that quirky Ace Attorney vibe to the characters, whilst also not being overly anime like that game. It gets that 1920s to 30s feel, like when the US were in Prohibition, without actually being set in America in the 20s or 30s. I really loved our book and how they set out the clues and profiles as well as the tabs up in the corner. It is all very easy to see, not at all cluttered, as was the drinks menu and the actions bar as well. The one detail I really loved is that when you pour the drinks, the liquid that comes out of the shaker is actually the color of the liquid in the drink itself. So that might be a weird detail to love, but how easy would it have been just to make the same color for every drink? To just make it a one-off animation. They don't though, they make it unique, and I think it goes a long way to show how far down their attention to detail is going to go. I am super excited to play this game, not only to solve the murder, but to get to know the cast of characters, to get to know my own character, and just to indulge in the world they've built. I do hope there is a little world building. As the killing is happening around speakeasies, there is part of me that hopes that we'll learn about the world through the murder as well. Even if we don't, the actual case looks like it will be a fantastically written mystery, and I can't wait to jump into it. Best Served Cold released back at the beginning of May. I've slowly been trying to get through these demo review videos, and it came as a shock as when I originally wrote the script, there was no release date, and then bam, there it was. I do plan on playing this game at some point. Whether it be on stream or not might change at this point, because so many games for this demo review series is released early 2025, and I'm struggling to get through them all. That being said, it is a nice twist on the conversation genre, with some really good unique parts to it. Who doesn't love giving people alcohol while solving murder cases? And we get to see more of Pete, and Pete looks like he'll be a lot of fun, maybe. Or maybe I don't want to know Pete. Well, I do know Pete, but maybe I don't want to reacquaint with Pete. Who knows? Link to the Steam page in the description below as always. You might be happy after that to know this is the end of the video though. If you would like to support this bear, then please leave a like on the video, comment below on what drink you'd like to have, and why it is 100% the Pirate Joy because I love that drink so much, and subscribe. If you are subscribing here, please feel free to follow over at twitch.tv/Annakuma as well, where I play a variety of games 5 days a week and solve many a murder, though alcohol usually isn't required, or indeed even in the conversation. Visual novels like this tend to be played on a Saturday, so maybe at some point I'll get around to playing it on a Saturday. Maybe. Until next time though, thank you for watching as always, and bye bye!